All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you be. Thanks for stopping by, coming to the stream. I hope you guys are doing well. I don't know how long I'm going to last today.
Steve, someone has joined the chat on YouTube.
Hello, Cyber Wolfie. How are ya? Welcome to the stream. All right, that works. We're going to look at some things today. I'm trying to fix some of my shout outs, especially for YouTube. And I'm trying to get auto shout outs for those that are streamers. Not only just to welcome you like he just did on the stream, but if someone's a streamer, I have a thing set up to where it should do a shout out. But I'm not sure how well that's working yet because I got to do Be Live. I like your video. It's very clever. I will have to go over it again. But you did all the animation yourself on that? I'm going to check out a couple of things here too. Are my emojis working? See if the emojis come up. See if no, they are not. So on Twitch, the emojis aren't coming up. Yeah, a slight problem last night. Every time you try to shut down your laptop, it just glitched with a blinking cursor and blinking. Some kind of clock with menu and CPU and whatever else status. Could you fix it changing from Wayland to X11? It could be. There's always some issues there. Let's see if my emojis are coming through on. Oh, that's right. When I send a message, I got it blocked. Will you do me a favor, Cyber? Will you just send a group of emojis? I have, so you don't see my message at the bottom because there's no way to do it. I have my name blocked, so I don't see my messages too on the bar at the bottom here. Okay, no emojis are coming through. Let me see if I can fix this one thing at a time. I like the floating. They were working the other day. They should be coming through. It could be Social Stream Ninja. I am streaming. It tells me this is what I'm working on. So for my emojis, because I haven't found another way to like get emojis, I don't want to use Streamlabs stuff or Stream Elements. There we go. There's YouTube, but can't close it. Social Stream Ninja's been kind of a muddled service lately. I'm signed in, but I can't send a message. What's going on here? So today's just a date of, I've been working on some stuff. So today is not a super chat day. I had surgery yesterday on the inside of my mouth. I'm lucky I'm talking the way I am right now. I mentioned it the other day, I had a wisdom tooth that really hasn't come up. That was growing into my jawbone. So we had that removed. Okay, come on. Let's see if I need to sign in again. Okay. There we go. I can send messages now from YouTube. They're not going through. Okay, so this is going to be a good stream today. You did your best to make MX Linux KDE look like Windows 7. Yeah, you did the picture of the Arrow. That looked the Arrow desktop looked pretty good. Let's see. Just adding. Oh, Twitch is making me sign in now. What the hell's going on? Oh, I don't want to join up. I just want to log in. There we go. Oh, codes. Gotta love two-factor. It's good for a reason. But every once in a while, I gotta re-sign back on. We're about what? 944. I can't type either. It doesn't help when you can't type. To sating. All right. Twitch is working.
Steve, someone has joined the chat on Twitch.
Hello.
Hello, Donnie. Yeah, I'm doing okay, I think. There we go. Now my messages are going back and forth. Oh, I had to re-sign in. All right, so that's working. And then I have to, let's get some music. I know what the problem is. Need some music. What do I want today? Go with some modern rock. All right, so Cyber says he has Linux on a laptop. I don't know what to do with it. Whatever you want, dude. Whatever you want to do with Linux, you can do. Okay, so let's see.
Ow!
All right, that's working. There we go. That's working. I wonder what to say. It means that the old guy here doesn't know how to type. That's what it means. But I'm doing okay. The mouth is still kind of sore. Pretty much all I can eat right now, like, are soft foods, and it's hard to swallow, even though it's not for the throat. Like when you swallow, you create a suction in your mouth, and that pulls on it. It's not as puffy. And I really don't take. I was given some low dose hydrocodone, but I won't take that until I go get ready to go to bed. But and I have to drink cool coffee, not cold, not warm. Cyber says, but about using Linux without breaking it. No, I don't mean to be, laughing at you. It takes a while. I think a lot of it might have to do with your laptop. And what you do to it. If you constantly try to change things, sometimes it doesn't like it. Again, it has to do with maybe how your laptop runs and all that. I mean, it should be running. You got it on there. A suggestion to kind of test out your laptop too. You can now create, if you have a good size USB, 128 gig, even if you have a 64 gig in that, you can download a program for it called Ventoy. And then you could have put in, instead of having to create a bootable USB, you just actually download the ISOs and throw them on once Ventoy's set up. And the computer will read the beginning of Ventoy, and then you'll be able to run any, like live run any distribution that you put on there. Ventoy is a pretty cool tool to do that. Not all computers like it, though. So it's a challenge. It's a learning process. I can't tell you how often I broke mine or, reinstalled it in the beginning. Like I said, if you watch some, I'm still slowly starting to re-release some of my stuff. I might edit them a bit, because at the time when I first I'm coming up actually on my first anniversary of releasing my first video on YouTube, the one about pepper chrome that I posted. I posted that on March 27th, 2018. So 8 years ago, I became a content creator. But when I talked, I kind of talked like this, and this is what we're going to do today. And so it's and I got plenty of comments in the beginning of my career about that, but I've learned how to talk better and that. So I might speed it up and edit it, re-release it. Because a lot of my Linux stuff doesn't, maybe some of the XFCE stuff can still be used today. And that's what I mostly use and I mostly did, but I got that coming up. So All right, so the deck is working. I think they finally got the cross chat going again. After 30 days, sometimes, yeah, I gotta forget that you have to re-sign in this Twitch and YouTube. I should. I might. Today, I might not do a lot of talking. Today is gonna. I want to work on. Um, I have my welcome screen come up. It worked for you and Cyberwolfie, but I created a group of people that I know join me that are streamers, and then I want to do a special do my shout out to see if we'll go to the shout out instead of the welcome screen. I'm trying to do it on my own. I know there's a couple of streamer bot creators out there that have a version of that, but I don't. I want to use my own. I want to kind of make my own. I got some things that they created, but the fun part is doing this on your own and trying to get things to work. Now, I tend to complicate things more. That's my problem. But also, like for the auto shoutouts on YouTube, that's a bigger monster. The API, as they call it, the where like Twitch and that your streamer guy gets the information from Twitch or even YouTube. The API is more restrictive, or should I say, not as open as Twitch API. So I've had to do a couple of different things on YouTube to get shout outs going. Now, the problem with YouTube, so on Twitch, if I do a shout out for someone that's not in my stream, on Twitch, it will still shout them out. But if they're not in the stream, you can't do that. So I created a global variable. So global variable will save information. So all the global variables, these are strictly from YouTube, and it will grab their ID and that, and I have to do it in such a way that when I send a shout out, it's sent up differently. So doing doing auto shout outs from the way I have it set up might not be possible. And those that join on YouTube may not be, I could still do it manually, but I want to see, hopefully someone that's a streamer from YouTube joins today, and I can test this out. So that's what I'm doing. So, so what I have here, so in settings, to get to groups, to set up groups in StreamerBot, you go down to settings and you go to groups, and I have I call it auto SO Twitch, and these are all Twitch streamers that join the stream, and then these are all YouTube streamers that join the stream. The info that it's getting from YouTube, this information is a little bit different than how I gather it. So that's why it might not work. Twitch, it shouldn't really matter as long as I got this set up. And then in the actions, so I have two groups. So I have ignored users, which are basically my bots and me, or if someone that joins on YouTube or Twitch, I can add them to the ignored bots. And then, so this is if and or statement, if they're from the ignored users and a message comes from it. So what I don't want is my bots to spam, because I have a bot that talks. I have two bots. I have my SVOL bot is my bot for Twitch, and Steve Areno Robot is my bot from YouTube. So when you're on Twitch and someone sends a message from YouTube, you will see it come through. Let's see. Is this? Oh, come on. Now my chats aren't working there. So if you see a message, I have to go up here. So if I send a message on YouTube, on Twitch, you will see. I'm going to take out. I think I'm going to take out these icons in here. But you'll see that it's from Steve's Very Own and Hello. If you see the name in brackets on Twitch, that's coming from YouTube. Whereas if I just send the message in Twitch, you see it in Steve's Very Own. Now you see, well, you don't see it, I see it. So Twitch will see, YouTube will see Steve's Very Own Robot in parentheses and then hello. So that's how they know that it's coming from Twitch. So that's why I can have the cross chats. And then the second if and or statements. So I have user groups. If it equals auto SO in Twitch and they're in there, it should break to my auto shout out, my shout out on for Twitch. You like the kitty cat emoji? I think I had emojis over on the Twitch side, and I took those out. So if on the user group, so if no one's in my auto shout out for Twitch, it'll just come down and start here where like it showed you and Donnie joining the stream. I tried Restream for a very short time. Actually, I did multi-stream until about 4 years ago. It's hard to believe that I'm coming up in October, my 4-year anniversary streaming on Twitch. I got a lot of anniversaries coming up. I was looking that up. The problem with Restream, or not a problem, I mean, it saves bandwidth. You stream to one spot, and then it sends it out to Twitch and YouTube. But with the free version, so you get two, if I remember right, you get 2 multi-streams for free, but you'll get a branding up in the upper corner that will say Restream, unless you pay for it. And I see no reason to pay for a service when you have multi-streaming out of YouTube, and I have the video card to handle it. Now, would it really reduce the amount of stress on my system? Yeah. But again, I don't make a whole lot of money off of this, if at all. Like you, Donnie, or those that subscribe, I really appreciate that. But in a way, I can't pay for all these services to stream for like this, So Restream's there's a platform, but there's one that's starting to build up. Let's see. One of my followers started, let's see. Oh, good. My message came up on Blue Sky. It's not coming up on Windows. That's right. I got to reset that. So let's see. There's a Patrick in your stream. He used Streamplace. So Streamplace is a way you can also clock drifts detected. Your device clock is 6 seconds off from the server. Please sync your system clock to avoid issues. I'm going to reset my clock for 6 fucking seconds? What kind of shit is that? But what's Streamplace? Streamplace is the video layer for decentralized social networks. So it's like decentralized, so you can multi-stream or stream to this place. I don't know how multi-streaming is on it. I do not use. I use. The multiple output thing. I don't use ATOM because ATOM doesn't. I know Exeldra said they're working on it. ATOM doesn't allow a sync with the start, so you got to start ATOM manually. And I want YouTube and Twitch to start and stop together. Or I don't want to go in and start YouTube because Twitch is my main platform on my OBS. So I use this old multiple output, which works really well. So now that I have, I had a 1660 on GTX 1660, which is designed to stream
Steve,
at least.
Someone has joined the chat on Twitch.
Hello, Hans. How are you? Hope you are doing well, my friend. So, what was I just saying? I'm doing really good. I'm little still out of it. I'm not sleeping well. Oh. Did you know what? It's like squirrel. It's like I had the surgery yesterday on my mouth. I don't know how long ago today. Talking, like moving my jaw a lot kind of hurts. So, and I'm easily distracted. I took some Tylenol for my headache because I get a headache from this. I have some hydrocodone, but I'm not taking that until I go to sleep. But I was talking about something about streaming, multi-streaming. Oh, I had a 1660 GTX card that you were able to do up to 3 streams on a platform like OBS. So it would handle that. But 3 would be really straining it. Now I have an RTX 4060, and I think I could do 4. So doing 2 streams is not stressful at all on this. Let's bring up mission control. So with OBS running and all the stuff I got going, my CPU is at 38% total. OBS is using 10%, up to 15% at times. Memory's at 53%. I have 32 gigs of memory. And my GPU depends on average 45%. So that's with 2 streams and all these action I have going on. So let's see what GPU looks like when running the holodeck. And not too bad. So the 46 going up 50%, 49%. So the 4060 is pretty decent. It's not your top end card, but it does do the job really well. GPU, but your GPU memory has gone up to 97%. So that's the 4060 has 6 gigs of RAM on there. And then when that action stops, it should eventually start calming down. So, yeah, see the drop down do. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's still at 97%. Oh, well. Let me look at performance here. Here's the GPU. Video encode is at 40%, and that's so it's a pretty decent card to have. Because you someone ran the. Thank you, I didn't know why it was staying up there, but go back to a message here. Cyber Wolfie said he tried Garuda Linux on his gaming PC before and it looked amazing for a gaming setup with KDE Dragonized environment. Yeah, I took a look at that. It was a little too custom. So like I see in the OBS forum a lot of people trying out Cache on the Arch end and Bazite on the Fedora end, coming over to Linux for the first time. I do not recommend neither, but these are gamers that are coming over. So they're going after these gaming platforms. And then, well, okay, once they get into the gaming or they want to also stream their games, and there's a lot of finagling. That's an official technical term, finagling your system to get it to work right, especially on Cache and the different kernels that you can use and all that. And then on Bazite, because it is part of Fedora or it's based on Fedora, getting all the proprietary drivers and things like that to work, like NVIDIA and things like that. And I don't think that that's a good choice, but that's just me. I don't game outside of online with OpenGuessr. But I see that a lot. So another thing I want to test out here is on my gameplay scene. There we go. I wanted to make sure I was changing my chat up, my stuff on for the gameplay. And notice I changed this, the message now comes up, it's typing mode. So that will recycle. Let me. I'm not going to play GeoGuessr, but I'm going to get. There we go. Oops. There we go. So I think if I play, I want to make sure that, so this is Nutty's chat here, so we can see that. I was looking at the, instead of the vertical, having the, or instead of the horizontal, having the vertical chat. You like the new chat overlay? Which one? The vertical one? So I like the vertical, the horizontal. Got to remember, vertical standing, horizontal. Think of a whore. What does she do? No. So I have that. And then I kind of lowered, I changed this stuff up a little bit on my bar down here. I used to have this up larger and popped out. And then I added checkout commands. I think most people know that these are commands, but so I added some. Oh, that's what I gotta fix. That's what I gotta fix. So OpenGuessr's working right. That's set up good. And my voice aliases. So one thing I've noticed, and I've got to send a message to this developer. I created some more
Yes, I created where we are going to hack into Elon Musk's bank account, and I'm going to send $1 million to everybody. And I watch the FBI show up at my door with my in hacker mode. You're trying to go to a directory as root, but you can't remember how. Depends on how the system is set up.
I know in GNOME I have to do it. It's a different way. KDE. Usually, if you click on Hans, you use KDE, don't you? In KDE, you Dolphin. Because here if I go in XFCE, you will see where the other drives are. You will see, I forget what they might call it, but that will be your system drive. It may say system. So how do you, so Cyber's asking how to get into root in KDE. So in GNOME, what I have to do is actually just do, I think it's dot. Oops, no, I don't want that. Actually, just there. Nope, I don't want that. I can go here, I think. Nope. See, I'm going blank too. It should just be hitting. Oh, that's right. And then hitting. I forgot. Okay, now I remember. So in GNOME now it's Control H is the hidden. Control L. Or is it that and Control L? No. I'm going lost. Boy, I am doing really good today. I just went in it the other day. I thought it was Control L. Or is it Alt L? No. No. No, I don't want that. Nope. All right, I'm going blank. I have totally messed up. That's so bad today. So don't take any advice from Steve. I'll figure it out later. I'll remember later. But anyway, on my TTS, I added some new TTS, and the aliases aren't staying in. I don't know if there's a limit on the aliases. I don't know if I noticed that if I name it, I can. Let's try this because it's not saving. So we'll call this TTS Jarvis. And then we'll make it, I got a Jarvis voice now.
This is a test message.
So that's Jarvis. I'll have to change a couple of things. And then I set up a TTS Hal. That's the Hal message.
This is a test message.
And then what else did I got a couple other voices. Oh, I did data. I did a data. And a Picard. There you are.
This is a test message.
And then I think I did a new TTS Picard. So I found these other voices. So this uses Piper TTS, which uses these Onyx style voices. And there are quite a few of them out there to grab. There we go.
Steve,
This is a
someone
test
has
message.
joined the chat on YouTube.
Welcome to my stream.
Well, pizza loving nerd. How the heck are you? Long time no see. I hope you're doing well. I see a video of yours once in a while. Okay, so what we're looking at is I am streaming off of my EndeavourOS system with OBS. I have StreamerBot in bottles. And I don't know if you're familiar with StreamerBot. They also have, there's a program called SpeakerBot, which does TTS. Those work well on Windows. But even though you can get StreamerBot to work in bottles pretty well, SpeakerBot will not, because SpeakerBot uses Windows TTS, Windows Voice in that. So I had to find something different. I was getting ready to
Old one. All right. So this way I can hack into the world here. You're in business school trying to build a new Linux startup. Just got back into YouTube for side income. Never heard of a StreamerBot. This summer I'm thinking of dabbling into live streaming. StreamerBot is a program that helps you with live streaming. You can do this, the Matrix, with StreamerBot. Okay, let's make sure I have my messages then set up right. So this is StreamerBot right
here. It is a Windows only program, but it's designed well to work in Linux. It's not Linux native. The TTS program is Linux native, although it does, you can install it on Windows and Mac too. So I gotta change. SpeakerBot is a way to add actions and all sorts of fun stuff to your stream. Linux is not native, or it's not native to Linux. The developer wants to get it that way. He wants to work on a Windows. I can't talk worth shit today. He wants to work on a Linux and Mac alternative, or but the problem is StreamerBot uses a lot of Windows stuff. And there is a nice install from on you can do it through Wine on Linux. No, I haven't been on, well, Peppermint OS, the original iteration, of course, died unfortunately with Mark. I did stick with the team for a while. They done a nice job. They switched it over to a very lightweight Debian system, which is not for me. But what they've done is they've done some great documentation. So if someone in the future takes over it, they'll be able to do it with no problems. That's one of the things Mark didn't really do. It was all in his head. And then after Peppermint, I was on Pop! OS for about 4 years. But then Pop! OS with Cosmic. Cosmic is not ready. So what I'm doing here is I usually stream on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Tuesday, I do OBS, StreamerBot, and stuff on Linux. Wednesday, sometimes it's Windows, sometimes it's Linux. And then Thursdays, I do geoguessing. I like geoguessing. And I still have my Sunday coffee clutch, but it's not the Sunday Linux coffee clutch, just taught. I remember you worked on Ice, yeah, they completely changed it. They've used a couple of different things, but they have a couple of different versions. You can, I guess, get like a peppermint 10 like setup. So things that you can do with StreamerBot. Hans, if you would be so kind, if you don't mind using up some points, would you send a TTS? Use one of the, you can either use Picard, Data, Hal. You'll see it. It's just exclamation Hal. You don't think it was a good idea to switch from GTK to TK? It made a lot of peppermint tools look ancient. Yeah, I did Steam pretty decently, but it's Debian, so Debian for streaming doesn't work for me. It's worse to get. Oh, I'm sorry. Do it's exclamation HAL and then it's a TTS. Do a TTS. Hal. There's Hal. There's exclamation. There you go. There's Jarvis. Hal. Data. And I got to add Picard. I got Picard in there now. And then I have an original TTS. You can just do just a TTS one. And so Pizza Loving Nerd is an old, I shouldn't say old, he's still a very young man. He was a very young man when he was hanging out with us. But he's from our original. Actually, you don't have to with Alan. It's just got to do this exclamation TTS. For regular Alan, it's just TTS.
Steve's very own says like this.
So I have an Alan Pope voice, and then if you do it, and you can do it just. I had to set up the thing.
Steve's very own says like this.
Why did it come up? Why did it duplicate? Shouldn't be duplicating unless I hit it again. And then if you do
Steve's very own says Captain, the tribbles are loose.
there we go. So StreamerBot is a way just to have all these like cool things happen with your stream. I have it installed on my EndeavourOS in bottles. That's swollen. And then I've created voice activation. So voice activation is kind of built into StreamerBot on Windows because it uses the Windows controlling. So through Vosk, I created a we've been working behind the scenes for Tech Hut and This Week in Linux. Okay. Tech Hut, I hardly watch anymore. And once in a while, This Week on Linux, if I see him live, I'll go and troll him. I don't do a lot of Linuxy stuff like I did in the past. I don't have shows where I have people on anymore. I've changed up my whole format. I multi-stream on Twitch and YouTube. Twitch is my main platform now. I got out of streaming on Linux for about a year. I got tired of all the workarounds and the BS that I had to do. As I got more complicated in my streaming, it wasn't keeping up. So I got a Windows 11 install on my system, and I have I usually do my streaming from Windows because as much as people want to bitch about Windows 11, I get all the tools that I can that will work on Windows. Is there a way to add a startup sound login I'm sure there is. You can. I remember how to do it. I slightly remember how to do it on XFCE, but basically you can do it in startup and add connect an audio file to it. But I kind of, at one point with all the Linuxy stuff, I got tired of I got a little tired of the community. I got tired of all the bashing on just the bashing, not just on Windows. You know, anytime that you would mention Windows, it's like, you know, the same old, oh, ban them, hammer them. Oh, I'm sorry. Or if you happen even to be on Mac, you know. But then if you're in Linux, someone asks KDE, oh, you're an idiot for being on KDE. You should be on this. Oh, you're on GNOME. I'm sorry. I just got tired of that. So I don't really do anything with the community much anymore. And that's just the way I went. I went more of it like into what I hopefully is entertaining. And I'll show up. I'll show up in the chat on Linux Saloon, and that's about it. You're building a distro called StillOS, which is supposed to be a distro that is fully consumer ready by locking it down and removing all the technical stuff. Kind of like Google OS, Chrome OS. Personally use Windows, Linux, and Mac. Where are you? You are right where you should be, Hans. You know what? It's a tool. I'm sorry the politics get involved. You know, Microsoft has been a bitch for a long time, but that doesn't take away from the tool. You want something you can just use without maintaining so you can get your work done. There's less control, but I'm not targeting current Linux users, essentially like Win or Mac, but Linux based. I you know what? I'm actually on Arch. I know people will say, well, Endeavor's not Arch. It's Arch. I don't care. Nice install, great community. Very well, Steve, it's vanilla. Why the fuck do you think I installed it? You know, it's just I wanted something that was easy for me. But I got tired, so I was on Papa West. Then they went Cosmic. Cosmic's not ready. Cosmic with NVIDIA, Rust, and Wayland, and trying to use OBS, it was a mess. So, like, what am I going to do? Well, I want to kind of stay with Ubuntu. So I tried Zorin. Zorin still uses the old Ubuntu installer that takes forever. Now, some people say, no, it doesn't. Takes forever to install. It goes through all the checks and all that. And you try to bypass that. I tried it on my computer, my desktop, which is pretty decent. After 15 minutes, I still wasn't to where I was at the trial time. It just really sucked. And everybody's going, oh, Zorin. I couldn't get Zorin on laptops. And I know what I'm doing, I think. So I'm like, I'm going with Endeavor, a GNOME, and I'm using the AUR. I'm using the OBS Titan build, which is very similar, because Titan is also in the OBS forum, the Discord forum, to help. So it's not an official package, but they will support it. But I get you, these atomic distros and all that, I think there's a place for them. I did like Cosmic's look, but I just think that they were doing too many changes too quickly. Maybe when they get out to version 5, it might get better. But I couldn't get. It's bad enough being in Wayland, and it's not Wayland's fault. Getting custom docks in OBS because of the Chrome embedded framework, they have to have Wayland built in or something like that. But I can't get VSTs. So coming back to Linux to stream was a big challenge. Let me get out of this small screen. So it was a big challenge. When I was in Cosmic and I tried StreamerBot through Wine, I got it. If I got it to install, everybody can get it to install. It worked fine. It was lacking some things. Now there's a bottles build for it. It's about 95% the same, except there's no voice control. Because that's built, they used the built-in from Windows on that, and of course that's not on Linux. So I built a voice control script in that using Vosk. So if I want to say computer left monitor, it'll switch, and it's really simple.
Here is the left monitor, boss.
And then TTS talks to me. You're shipping GNOME right now, and you're thinking about forking Cinnamon. I want to make Cinnamon use libwata and turn it into an alternative shell that's more flexible for GNOME. I just never liked Cinnamon. That's why I've never really I've used Linux Mint, but it's not been my choice. Computer main view. So I got voice control. I wanted to try to get back to Linux on a way that I can almost be at my Windows equal. So like voice control, I can't use VSTs because the Windows won't open because of Wayland, or the Ceph issue, because OBS uses Ceph for those dock windows and that. So I've learned how to make different voice profiles and easy effects. Then I was getting ready to build a TTS system, and I was using Gemini to help. And actually, Gemini goes, there's a new program out there called Speakaboo that will do it's like a drop-in replacement for SpeakerBot, but it's lacking some of the like blocking icons and using online voices and that. But the TTS system, Piper uses a lot of voices. I got a lot of voices that people train that if they're in an Onyx setup, you can install it. Cinnamon is probably the best implemented desktop, but I don't like some of its design decisions. I think it feels more fresh with a customizable Arc menu clone. Yeah, I know Cinnamon is like a forked GNOME from GNOME 2. And in a lot of aspects, it looks still old to me, just like Mate. I know KDE, I've tried it. I don't know. I just prefer GNOME. Cyber found a way to enable the login sound. And Pizza said earlier, that's what I love about Linux. You can always build anything to create something unique to how you work. And I've had some help. I've used scripts. I've never created scripts. I have a startup script for all my streaming stuff that I use. So the script will start up StreamerBots, Speakaboo. I use Touch Portal for my tablet for a touch control. It will start up voice control for me, and Social Stream Ninja. So Social Stream Ninja, Touch Portal, and YouTube Music. I use an app image of YouTube Music. That's where I get my music from because it has a lot of plugins, and one of them is for Tuna. So it'll start up 3 app images for me, a script, the SpeakerBot, or the Speakaboo and StreamerBot. In order to get voices to change, like if I do this holodeck, and I have to adjust a bit because that green in the middle should be there. But my voice should be changed to a hologram, and that's through Easy Effects. Yep, it's through Easy Effects profile. Normally, there's an easier way to do it on Windows, but on Linux, because the bottles install doesn't run Linux scripts. So I can't run it. It can run a bash script in Windows, but it won't run a bash script in Linux. So I have to create a file that gets read by Linux, but the file then gets triggered in StreamerBot and then triggers the profile on Easy Effects. Stuff I hated to do. Using VSTs for voice control is so much better. Oh, and speaking of voices, you guys have been watching before, like Hans and Simon. Have you noticed a difference? I've added a little more bass to the voice, the stream. Hopefully my normal voice is okay. Cinnamon's new theme feels like GNOME, but with a different color scheme. Yeah. And yeah, I use extensions, you know. Oh no, you know, like what's the biggest Linux complaint? Oh, GNOME's not usable without the extensions. Thanks, Hans. Do I sound deeper? Do I sound sexier? But Cosmic is customized GNOME with extensions. Zorin. I'll see these people, like, they'll review GNOME and they hate GNOME, but they love Zorin. Well, Zorin is GNOME with extensions. What, you know? And Chrome, yeah, they have their own extension, but Chrome is just, you know, even in using Chrome Flex, Chrome just works. I don't know how to explain it. It just, and it never fails. It never really fails. And they use the AB update, you know, it's just, it's really GNOME, or not GNOME, but it's really Linux done right. But you have a corporation behind it, and that's what happens. So I have no doubt that System 76 will get things ironed out with the Cosmic desktop. It's going to take a while. I know why, you know, they didn't like what GNOME was doing and all that. And majority of the gnomes that I use, the GNOME extensions I use, are ones that are used all the time. And I just removed the, like when it went to GNOME 50 and some of the extensions wouldn't work, I just changed the setting on G settings so it wouldn't look at what is it, the extension build or whatever, and they still work. It's not going to break the system because it's going to be a while, that they're going to get it fixed. So GNOME gives off a 2011 Unity. But it's a lot of, it looks like GNOME. I know TotalSK kept referring to it as being GNOME. And I'm like, no, it's not GNOME. It's GNOME-like. But, yeah, it's just, whatever anybody wants to use. But for really getting into streaming and being able to use what you want and how you want it to be close to Windows, you really got to know what you're doing. I say that a lot of streamers in Linux don't do a lot of this stuff because what does Linux do? It saves old computers and old laptops. It's not difficult to stream off of old laptop. I got some 12-year-old laptops here that I know I can stream. I couldn't do this. Add a couple of OBS plugins to it, and you're almost unusable. Does everybody have to stream like this? No, you stream the way you want to stream. But I have been constantly in a development mode. I was looking at stuff that I did 8 years ago, which I'm going to start covering again. And my first early days into OBS and how little I knew. And I probably every day I read the OBS Discord forum in Windows and Linux to see what's going on, to see what's happening, to see if there's any problems. Once in a while, I'll put my 2 cents in, but some of these people want immediate response. I feel for those helpers. They don't get paid for it. They do it because they love it. But how many people, even just getting into Windows, they've never, I need help. I've never used OBS before. And they want the helpers to sit down and, I'll pay you $50 if you do a virtual call with me and show me. Right. But this is the stuff that I like to do now. I just I'm thinking of doing some videos on coming from Windows to Linux on OBS, if you're streaming. The problem is I can't really talk about gaming because I don't do that. And most people that they're coming to Linux because their system couldn't take on Windows 11 and still may be a somewhat of a decent laptop. Majority of them are on laptops, but they're not able to get what they think they should get. So many people think that these programs will be like, that in watching something like CSI or a detective show and the license plate's all blurred out and they use this magic and they use it, even before like AI was AI and they enhanced the license plate and they got a perfectly clear license plate. Even in today's technology, that's still not 100% possible. But people think that there's got to be some way that this should be able to work. I'm on Linux. No. Good luck. But I digress. I'm kind of bitching here, which I do a lot normally. Good tune. And again, so Pizza, if you're you're on YouTube, so you won't hear music. My music's only on Twitch. Not my music, but because I can play copyrighted music while I'm streaming. So you'll see this music player up here, but you won't be hearing any music over on YouTube. Okay. What did I want to fix today? Oh, thank you. I build it pretty much. I mean, I use a few things, but like I used this is built with HTML, CSS, and some JavaScript. And then you'll see a lower third that I have that is built with HTML and that. Down over here, like the weather is just, a browser source and that I have with the time and the weather. The chat is a chat from a streamer on Twitch, Nutty. He also streams on YouTube too. He built the horizontal and vertical chat that I use. I used to use Social Stream Ninja, but I got Social Stream Ninja. The only thing I use Social Stream Ninja for is for floating icons. Cool. But I'll show you all my stuff in a second. Hans helped his father's friend the other day. He was still using his gaming laptop from 2011 Intel i7 and NVIDIA GTX 660, installed Linux Mint onto it, and has been loving the improved load times on Linux. Yeah, I mean, it's great. If you just like, so my wife, she watches YouTube, email, podcasts. That's her big thing, podcasts and searching. All right, Pizza, take care. Good hearing from you. I've been hearing from a lot from my older friends again, so that's nice. Keep in mind that I'm streaming here Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and then Sunday mornings. And I'm U.S. Central. So take care, and I'll hope to see you again. Thanks for the chat. I am going to take a quick break. I am going to be right back. So let me bring up the filters and I'll show you. So of course I have chroma key going. I set up a color correction and I'm using a light blue. And I renamed this Retro Effects Hollow, and I'm using the filter scan lines, and that's what's giving me the lines. I guess you can change. This should send the message over to my announcement channel. And then it will send a message to Twitch. And I'm going to change this to the bot, just for the heck of it. And let's see if 30 seconds before. So we're going to do this. We're going to start. We'll do the Matrix one.
Yes. And then we'll do the trying to clip.
Oh, lunch was. I took my son to lunch today to a Jameson's Char House, and I had blackened chicken breast sandwich. Ah, that was so good. That was so good. Okay. All right. So, how can I test out my auto shout out? At least let's see the. At least both messages went in for YouTube, and first words went in, whoops, properly for Twitch and YouTube because I got to see you guys show up. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Linux Mint, Hans. I mean, it's just I've used it on a couple laptops. It does just work. I don't know why the cinnamon look. No matter what you do to it, still it just throws me off. I can't explain it, but that's just me. We all have our tastes in that. Like I have my wife on Gnome Arch, and she, as long as I'm here, if she has problems, I'm gone. She's screwed. But I tried to get her. I told her she would be perfect for a Chromebook, and you can get them for what she does. You can get them, pretty inexpensive, and they just work. And it would be perfect for. She doesn't want to sign into another platform. She doesn't want a Google account. And I can't let her use mine. Not that I got any secret stuff on there, but mine is tied to my streaming stuff. And then even if I created one, she would still have to sign into it. There are plenty of cheap secondhand PCs available. Just install Linux or Chrome. Yeah. So Linux, because she doesn't, she signs into the desktop, but and I told her that would be the same. And I think you can use, you can use Chrome Flex or you can use Chromebooks. You don't have to sign in fully. She's just stubborn. But the laptops are getting to a point where it's like difficult to install stuff on there. She had one of my newer ones that fell and broke. So I had to give her one of my older ones, which is heavier, and we have to order a battery for it. I never ordered batteries for these. These are given to me a long time ago because I keep them plugged in all the time if I use them. Because since I got my new tablet, I haven't touched a laptop outside of like monitoring it for my stream in about a year now. Because this is a pretty decent tablet. And the sound is better than anything I can get on a laptop for the same price. That's right. Yeah, PIN number code. Yeah, I told her she can use that, but I still have to be. It's just that it's an older HP. What's the number on it? I forget the number on it. Is it the 8460? It's a beautiful laptop. It's nice and sturdy. it's beautiful looking, but she's used to, I mean, she was used to this Windows laptop, and I tried to get several different stuff, even Chrome Flex on here. It's a Asus. Can I read that? E200H Vivio book, they're called. Very light, not much different than a tablet. Almost looks like a Chromebook. I think Asus did these versions in a Chromebook too. And it's got a 64 gig eMMC on it and only 4 gigs of memory. Windows 10 on here is still good. It was able to do the till October security updates, but she didn't want to use it anymore. I tried, and it's not supported. I even tried it with Chrome Flex. It's not in the supported list. And I think a lot has to do with the eMMC and that. Oh, and the way I think it's a 64-bit laptop, but I think it uses a 32-bit bootloader. So I think that's part of the problem. I've tried Linux Mint. I've tried Arch. I can't get anything else really to install on it. It's a shame too, because it's a nice lightweight laptop. So I might surprise her for her birthday with a new laptop, because she carries it around with it, and this one is not. The laptop is not conducive to an easy. Like if we go on vacation, she'd take it with. Thing is, it doesn't have a carrying case and all that, and she had a real nice one for this Asus book. But I would, but I've tried many ways to get an OS installed on there. And if, at times I'll be able to get the trial to go up, but it wouldn't install. And if you look online, there's been people trying to install Linux on it for years. Some have gotten success on it. Most of everybody else hasn't. All right. All right. Do I have to add Picard to my list here for commands? Do you guys find it easy to read the scrolling commands? Like if you look at it, do you understand what I'm asking for? Like with notification, and then in brackets, enter message after if you use notification. I was trying like sliding cards for a while. I thought they looked kind of nice, but they took up too much room. Let's see. And I'm always hoping too that I spell these right so people can understand them. So Jarvis, how should probably put the TTS ones together. I assume that you've helped friends with. Oh yeah, for years I was tech support for my father-in-law. Man, the man knew finances and numbers. I mean, he never finished college or anything like that. He got his GED. He grew up in Kentucky, but was, as so many of them down there, they are just very numbers oriented, and he knew finances like crazy. Memory, if he observed it, he remembered it, but he could not get a PC. He could not get a computer, and it would always kill me because now,
Steve, someone has joined the chat on YouTube.
Cody Lama. What's up, Cody? How are you doing today, young man? How was work today? Just got off. Isn't it a great feeling? Just got off. I had surgery on the mouth yesterday. I had a embedded wisdom tooth that was growing into my jaw removed. So I don't know if you could see the puffiness and all that, but that's what I got going on. You missed Pizza Loving Nerd dropped in a little bit ago. It's been a Monday kind of day, yeah. What sucks is I have to drink room temperature coffee. But I hadn't had coffee all day yesterday because of the surgery. And boy, did I wake up with a headache. A couple of Tylenol and a cup of coffee took care of that. But there's something about lukewarm coffee. You either got to drink it hot, medium hot, or ice cold. I should have made iced coffee, but I can't drink anything too cold or too hot right now. And all I can do is eat like soup or mushy food. I'm not supposed to chew. So I was just checking a bunch of things out today, making sure that they were working. I got some. So now I have in the TTS format, I have Data, Hal, Jarvis, and Picard. Excuse me, along with my main one, TTS Alan. And I did some changes on the setup here. I want to check out something else on the. Make sure. Okay, so I have to. Shorten the chat bar a little bit. That's perfect now. So I can get the whole message in, and then the site is that set up. So you listening on your tablet in your truck? And how are your Meta glasses working out? You happy you support what's his name? Booger Sucker? Zuckerberger Booger Sucker. It's like the old Santa Claus is coming to town. Burgermeister Meisterburger. Zuckerberger Burger Sucker. So what else do I want to do here? One thing I just can't test out. So I'm trying to do a setup to where instead of me having to do a shout out for streamers, and I think I want to do something special for some of you that show up in the chat and on the stream quite often. I'm creating groups, but hopefully that the other day my YouTube one it didn't go through to like you showed up today. And like I said, Pizza Loving Nerd stopped in to say hello. I haven't seen that young man in a while. And if I'm not talking, I know that doesn't make for a great stream, but I'm starting to have a it's kind of hard and difficult to talk with this. It kind of is still raw, and I'm swollen in here. And unfortunately, it exposed some bone, lower bone, which the gum will grow over. But that's scratching the side, and I can't put my finger in there to clean things out for about a week. So I can just gently do a rinse. Let's see if this is still working. That's one thing no one uses a lot. I should probably just go through and like run all the commands. It says let's see, that is from Tommy. I believe. And it grabs different assorted GIFs in different positions along the stream. Using Giphy. Gotta create a kind of an account for that. Cyber tried to install Windows XP and VirtualBox, but it kept aborting, so I just gave up and uninstalled the whole thing. In the VirtualBox? Yeah, I can't tell you the last time I used the VirtualBox. I have all these well, my laptops are dwindling, but I really have no more laptops to test. Since one broke, I gave my wife one I had as a backup. I got my laptop up here to monitor the stream with, and then I have another laptop in the family room. Did I hit a button there? Showing family slideshows. They're showing slideshows. Hans, you asked earlier about helping people with their PCs and that. Well, Cyber Wolfie, I got him to try MX Linux because his laptop was being difficult in installing different Linux and that. But I mentioned my father-in-law. I started talking about my father-in-law. So I've had him on I had him on Peppermint for a number of years, and then when Peppermint went, I moved him to Cosmic. I had gotten a bunch of computers and laptops from my brother-in-law when he got out of his side business, and it was one of those IBM Office computers that you'll see. Not great for anything but doing surfing and stuff like that. But I had a decent monitor, so I'm going to be getting another monitor soon, which my wife, my mother-in-law wants me to pick up that computer because she uses an iPad. She hasn't never used a computer. So she wants me to wipe out, not that her husband had anything, my father-in-law did anything on it and that. Funny thing is, for some reason, you can't open the NVIDIA setting for some reason. You don't know how, or if you're using NVIDIA or not. Like I said, reach out to the MX forum and join and post a question about it. I know, like I said, Run with the Dolphin, the leader of it, he's very, very knowledgeable. I mean, it's his system. And he's got a pretty good team behind him, and they could probably figure out what's going on with, because you got the hybrid graphics. Unless Hans, you know what Cyber can do. So he's got a hybrid graphics. It's got a IBM 4000, right? Or not IBM, yeah. And then he's got an older NVIDIA card in there too. But it can't take any of the modern NVIDIA drivers. So he's not sure how to set it up. Yeah, I help out where I can. I mean, sometimes my knowledge I'm pretty knowledgeable on the stuff that I do and what I've used. You imagine you got the 390 installed, and that's about the oldest that you can go to, probably. You might even, I don't know if they still have the 340. You had the Dell Latitude 6430. So I had asked a question to the Latitude E6430 NVIDIA NVS 5200M and Linux. I think that's what he had, the open source. He says he can't tell if he's running on it or not. So the E6430 uses hybrid graphics and Intel plus NVIDIA. And Linux can struggle to manage this, often leading to a higher battery drain. You may need to configure NVIDIA Prime to switch between the cards. In your BIOS configuration, check your BIOS to ensure that NVIDIA GPU is enabled, and try to settings graphics to Optimus or discrete. It's enabled, okay. And it says, so proprietary NVIDIA driver provide better performance than the open source Nouveau drivers. Modern distributions like Ubuntu and Mint will detect and allow you to install the recommended NVIDIA drivers, likely the 390 or 418 legacy drivers, but you're not on Ubuntu. And then Linux offers a faster, snappier experience than Windows with, of course, it adds that in there. Let's see if we add MX. Running MX Linux on a Dell Latitude 6430 with NVIDIA NVS 5200 graphics is a viable setup, as MX Linux is optimized for older hardware. The NVS 5200 is a Fermi-based card, which means that while it's older, it can benefit from proprietary
someone has
NVIDIA drive.
joined the chat on Twitch.
Tony, what's up, buddy? How you been? So, driver installation, the easiest way to install drivers is via the MX tools, the DDM-MX NVIDIA driver installer. It's the Optimus technology. The 6430 often uses the Intel NVIDIA hybrid graphics Optimus. The installer detects this and sets up necessary configurations to switch between them. You said you had your BIOS settings set. The NVIDIA NVS 5200M is considered a legacy card. If latest drivers fail, you may need to use the MX NVIDIA legacy packages or Nouveau drivers. And for the Optimus switching, you may need to specifically switch to the NVIDIA card. You can use the NVIDIA Run MX utility to launch applications. Like I said, a good spot to go. I think it was mxlinux.org. So go to mxlinux.org, go to support, go to the forums, the MX Linux forums. Let's see if we can find. So I don't know if you guys can read this. So proprietary. Boy, I'm doing good. NVIDIA driver is failing to install. X refuses to start after reboot. This person says this is a fresh install. You use the MX tool NVIDIA installer and install the drivers it recommended. After rebooting, it doesn't boot. It doesn't boot to a black screen, but X refuses to start. If it's legacy, then the Linux kernel 5.1 is the only option if they want to use NVIDIA drivers on an old GPU. Points command not working? Let me look at that. But it'd be a good spot to go and start. I've used many forums. Go query, even though someone might have something like that in there, do your query on it, see if someone can help you. If I'm watching Linux Saloon on a Saturday night and I see Run with the Dolphin in the chat, I'll message him and see what he has to say. All right, let's. Commands. Points should work. I tested it a few weeks ago. I was trying to think I was fixing this. Let's see on. All right. I think this one I changed it a while back. I did wieners. I should be anywhere in this, not just in the beginning. Okay. Well, that's it with like Linux. It's again, it's not unfortunately it's not a answer to everything. Certain laptops or computers were designed for Windows alone, like me trying to get Linux on my wife's Asus netbook or Vivia book. Okay. Do we have to add another? Why isn't All right, where's the points one? It's right there.